Hello, hello. Welcome to week 2 of Halloween-a-thon. Hi, I'm here. It is Saturday. I did some things today. I did also want to show you that last night I finally finished the orca, which is, of course, the ship in Jaws. There's also the shark, obviously, and then there's a little platform that everything goes on. I'm sorry, my hair looks terrible. My makeup is a little bit smeary. I napped. So this is like my napping hair and makeup. So we ended up going to the mall today. My daughter asked last weekend if we could go, and I was like, listen, I need like days to prepare for this because I don't love going to the mall. It's so busy here. There's no reason for us to have one mall with the amount of people who live here. It's insane, especially on the weekend. But we went like right away when it opened. It wasn't so bad. She found some things she liked. And then I was like, well, I want to go to the Goodwill on this side of town. And so we did. Did look at some Halloween decorations. Most of it was just like recycled shit from like Target and the dollar store. It looked really cheap and not like cute things that people have donated, more like things like overstock kind of, you know, but like not even good overstock. So that was whatever. I did find some movies though. I found a copy of Red Dragon, one of Christine, and a sealed copy of Melancholia, which is another Lars von Trier movie. I haven't seen this one. I haven't read Bodypunk at all. I haven't even cracked it open yet because yesterday I was editing a video and oh my god, my eyes hurt so bad. I think my eyes were strained. I think I've been looking at screens too often in the past like month. I did buy a copy of one of my textbooks, which luckily is like, it was super cheap because it's not quite like open source, but it's like this really interesting collaborative textbook. So you can like submit changes and they get reviewed and could potentially get put into the book, which is really awesome. Of course, if you have a physical copy of that, it doesn't quite work that way, but I don't know. So I did buy a physical copy of that, and I think that will help because that class is the one that I spend the most time reading for. My eyes hurt so bad. I was getting like grumpy because they hurt, and I really just wanted to get this fucking video done. I did, luckily, but then I was like, well, I'm not gonna like get off the computer and read a book right now. I'd rather not. So I worked on some Legos. Really, my eyes they feel okay today. I've tried to stay off screens, except for I did watch, well, yesterday in the afternoon, I watched Witchfinder General, which was a first time watch for me. It has Vincent Price in it. He is like the villain in this movie. He's a witchfinder. But this is just kind of a sort of a title he almost gave himself. He's a grifter. He's a con artist, like roaming around the countryside, and since there's this like witch hysteria, he's kind of cashed in on it. Yeah, he's a bad man in that movie. Yeah, it was good. And then tonight I watched The Untamed, which was very strange. There is a lot of nudity in it, so you have to be okay with that. Zach and I were watching it, and then well, I put it on. Oh no. Oh no! I just smeared myself. I put it on, and I was in the kitchen, like, getting my dinner together, and he was like, what are we watching? It's like, oh, so it's like that immediately, huh? And it was, and yeah, it was crazy. Weird movie. It's kind of like a sci-fi horror drama. I don't know exactly what to tell you because I watched it on Tubi. The description on Tubi gives it away, but the description I've read elsewhere doesn't. So if you want to watch it, it's strange. And it's about these people and their lives are all intertwined, and none of them are having a good time, except they find this thing that makes them have a really good time. It was weird, like I said, like 4 times it was weird. But other than that, I felt like it was just okay. That's pretty much it for today. I might try to read a little bit before I go to bed. Maybe that won't be as hard on my eyes. I know that the last time I went to the optometrist, she said, you need to use eye drops because your eyes are dry. And I know that is also from looking at a screen too much and not blinking, because when you're looking at a screen, your eyes are focusing on what's going on there. You don't blink as often as you do when you're just sitting around not looking at a screen. So I need to do that, and I need to blink and also read a little bit. It's so nice out tonight. Maybe I'll read like on the porch or something. I took Sabby out just a couple minutes ago actually, and there was a powwow going on at my school. You could hear it from my house. I took a little video, maybe I'll include it here. Yeah, it was really cool it was cool to listen to. I couldn't see very much, but you could hear it. It was so loud and cool, and Sabby was like, was like, you idiot. She's a big dumb animal, folks. So that is it for tonight, for Saturday. Not a super exciting vlog. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning, good morning. It is Sunday morning. Sorry, I got interrupted there for a second because Zach is watching Eaten Alive, which I have not seen, and there are a lot of really gruesome parts, like gruesome for the early 80s, you know what I mean? Kind of exploitation. It's gotta be an exploitation film, I'm guessing, right? Categorized like that. So he keeps pausing it and being like, watch this. And then I have to go watch it, and it's gross and weird. I had a good morning so far. We got up and we took Sabbath for a walk on the bluffs this morning. And it was really, oh my god, it was beautiful out. It was windy, it was cool. We went grocery shopping, and I like sat on the couch for half an hour or so. Now, I'd like to tell you about Bodypunk because I read this last night. I wasn't sure if I was going to read it all because, like I said, my eyes had been kind of hurting. And they did, I feel like they did start to like be bothersome again when I was getting towards the end of this, but I think I'll just stay off them today. You know what I mean? Stay off my eyes. But okay, this was really good. I read this in one sitting. It took me maybe about an hour, maybe a little more than an hour. It has 5 stories. It has 5 stories. It has 5 stories. One's about a woman with an ED and like how that came to be, which is weird and gross. They're all weird and gross, I guess. Nothing here. That one was a little more like dreamy. It was almost like there were 3 people telling the story, maybe or maybe not. There was one called Like Snowflakes Melting on Your Tongue by Xavier Garcia, which was probably the second most, oh, I don't know. The last 3 are like super heavy on the body horror. So this one was about, I don't know, you don't get a lot of explanation. It's a short story, right? But there is some sort of thing that people can ingest that changes their bodies. The 4th one's called Split Dick David's First Post-Op Blowjob by Charlene Ellsby, and that one really was gruesome, but good. It was kind of a good for you situation. And then the last one, Endless Wound by Sam Richard, was like super heavy in grief. It's about a woman who is a painter, and she has recently lost her partner to like an act of violence, and she chooses to cope with that, or maybe doesn't choose but ends up coping like that in a really gruesome way. So yeah, very heavy on the body horror. I feel like at least the last 3, like, you know when you're reading something and it's like your body just has a reaction to it and it's not necessarily voluntary. The last 3 were for sure like that. But all around, it was a really excellent collection. I think probably my second favorite that I've read from Filthyloot. And now, since that was my roll, I'm going to roll again and see what kind of business we can get into. So here's where I currently am on my board. My last roll was a novella. I read Bodypunk. Now let's roll again. 1. Why does this keep happening to me? This is a movie. Okay, well, I guess that's kind of good. I feel like when I was watching the movie I watched last night, it didn't bother my eyes. I'm just really concerned because, like, going into the week, I have school shit that I'm going to have to do, which involves me reading and working on the computer, and that really is gonna suck if my eyes start to bother me, because I just, like, I don't need more shit, more like long-term health shit going on. I just, like, absolutely don't fucking need that. So it's like the one thing I have is that my eyes work and I can read things and watch a screen. Oh, so annoying. Okay, not the one thing. I'm exaggerating a little bit, you know. Okay, so I'm gonna pick a movie out from my pile, mix this around a tiny bit. Pet Sematary. All right, this is one that I own and one that I've seen before. That's my Sunday so far. Okay, I do think I am going to, like, finish this coffee and take a nap. Cause that sounds nice. Just a little tiny couch nap. Oh, I love a Sunday couch nap. So good. Okay, so thank you. I will see you when I finish Pet Sematary. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. Probably tomorrow, but we'll see. Good morning. It is Monday morning. I don't know what day of Halloween-a-thon it is. I think, is this day 7? I think it might be day 7 of Halloween-a-thon. Welcome again. I should be in class right now. I decided not to go. I got ready and everything, and then I don't know. I just, like, I woke up this morning honestly and was like, I don't want to go to class today. And then I got ready anyways, but my prevailing want to not go won over. I have been productive this morning though. I've been meaning to do this for months. I opened a high yield savings account. I'm doing big girl adult things. And I also transferred or like changed some of my deposits around so that they'll deposit into that instead of, you know, my normal checking savings account. So I'm proud of myself for finally fucking doing that, because I should have done it months ago when I first looked into this shit. But part of the thing too was that when I was researching this, I saw some people saying like they kept getting like denied when the institutions were like deciding on if they could open an account or not, and they're like, I have good credit, I always make payments, and I'm like, well then, like, would I get denied, and would that affect my credit if they're checking my credit? And like, I don't want that necessarily. I don't know, the credit thing, don't get me started on that. It's all fucking made up for no reason. But I did that this morning, so I'm proud that 1, I was productive, and 2, I did something I've been putting off for forever. Okay, so yesterday I pulled Pet Sematary from my movie watch list. That's the last spot I landed on my board. So now I'm going to roll again. Zach and I watched Pet Sematary yesterday. We also watched Eaten Alive, which I think I was telling you about when I filmed yesterday. I liked that so much. It's an exploitation film, like a cannibal exploitation film, like Cannibal Holocaust, by the same director that directed Cannibal Ferox. So, it's an Italian director. The movie's in English, but it's dubbed over, you know, like the Italians do. I don't know if they still do that. I can't think of any, like, modern Italian movie off the top of my head that I've watched. Like, one even more recent than the 90s. So, is that a thing that they still do? It's so it's interesting. It actually adds kind of a charm to the movie, I feel like. So that I actually ended up really liking. I liked it so much that I was looking on Severin Films' website yesterday. I bought a couple movies and I saw that one that they had was Eaten Alive. So I bought a copy of that. What else? We watched Pet Sematary also, which is a movie. If you haven't seen it, it's an adaptation of the Stephen King movie, or the Stephen King book, Pet Sematary, where a young family moves into this house in the country, but they do have a neighbor across the street, which is kind of interesting. It's like a country house, but like directly across the street from them is another house. But they live on this road that's frequented by fast moving semis. And so that's like a big thing in the movie, like this road and how dangerous it is. And also there is this special cemetery that the neighbor across the street tells the husband of the family about. And tragedy strikes, let's say, if you haven't seen it. Love this movie. Seen it a million times, I feel like. It's one that I watched a lot growing up too. And yeah, I mean, it's a favorite and it was good to watch it again. And we also, in between that, oh my god, I spent so much time on the couch yesterday after we did all of our like Sunday shit that we have to do. What else did we watch? I can't remember. Oh yeah, someone recommended me the movie Catacombs, which I didn't think at first I had ever seen before, but then when we started it, I was like, oh yeah, I think I have seen that. It was alright. It very much felt like a mid-2000s movie. I think my big problem is that there's just a lot of running around in these catacombs, which I didn't find like particularly interesting. But it was, I mean, other than that, it was fine. I really like the ending and how that comes along. But the movie is about this young woman whose sister is currently staying in France. It seems like she's been there for a while. She might be like straight up living there at this point. And she invites her sister to come to France and hang out with her. And the younger sister, the one who's going to be traveling to France, has a lot of like anxiety and stuff like that. That plays a big role in the movie. And so a lot of what she's doing is like even just traveling to France, pushing her limits, hanging out with people she doesn't know is kind of pushing her limits, encouraging her to open up to things that she probably wouldn't normally. And then she gets like lost in the catacombs below France, or below Paris. So it's, yeah, I mean, it's just a fine movie. Not a favorite, but it was fine. I read a little bit of Junji Ito's collection, Smashed. I thought that's probably a good one in between, for now, in between when I'm not reading a novella. I guess unless, I mean, I could just also finish it. But since it's a collection of stories, I can read a story and then stop if I happen to roll a novella next. Because the movies, that's about like a one-day thing for me to watch. It doesn't take me multiple days to watch a movie, typically. My eyeballs feel better, so that's good. I tried to stay off like close screens. I think maybe part of my problem too is that I've been working on the computer, I've been reading a lot, and I've been playing Graveyard Keeper, which I play on my Switch. So I think if I play it today, I'll probably dock it and play it on the TV rather than like on the handheld. So maybe that will help. And now let's just fucking roll. We got a 3. Can you see that? Probably not. But it's a 3, which is a fine roll. At least it's not 1. So that takes us from here. 1, 2, 3. That is a cat, which means we are reading a novella. I'm leaving it up to chance, and up to chance is what I get. And a sticker on my foot. Why is there a sticker here? I don't know. Okay, so got my novella stack. I'm going to mix them around a bit. And now we pull Rest Stop by Nat Cassidy. Okay, I'm really excited to read this. I actually almost picked it up instead of Smashed yesterday, but I thought, you know, like I said, that Smashed, maybe it was a better in-between sort of thing, so I don't have to wait to finish it all up before starting my other thing if I happen upon a novella, which I fucking did. Here we are, Rest Stop by Nat Cassidy, and unfortunately this does not have a synopsis on the back. It's just blurbs. So I really don't know exactly what to tell you about this, except for that I've heard people say it's gross. And indeed, there is a blurb from Eric LaRocca on the front that says, profoundly devastating and nasty as hell. So I'm very excited to get into this. I'm excited to tell you what I think about it and maybe a little bit about what's going on without spoilers, of course. Alright, so since I skipped class, I need to go over like the lecture by myself. Luckily, my professor, I love him. This is like my 4th class with him. He is a business professor, luckily, because, you know, my degree is a business degree, and he's so fun. He's very funny. He's so much more laid back than other professors I have who take things like way seriously and just really some of them expect more from the students than they themselves give, which is irritating because it's like, I'm paying you for this. I feel like we should give at least an equal effort, you know, in what both of our jobs are in this situation. This professor, he's great. The lectures are typically on Monday, and then like Wednesday is it's kind of like a lab day, right? Like whatever you need to work on, if you're working on the homework or whatever, he doesn't give a lecture Wednesday. So usually I haven't been going on Wednesdays anyways, because I go to class, I come home, and I do all the homework. So I do have to give myself the lecture today, which will be fine, and then I'll just still do the homework, and I will be taking a break in there somewhere, maybe after I'm done with the lecture portion, and read a little bit of this. The first chapter says, The Big Bang, Let There Be Yacht Rock, Broken Hearts, and Motherfucking Snowballs. Okay, alright, that's Monday for you. That is Monday for you. Thank you for watching. I'll be back with a little bit about Rest Stop. Hi, it's me again. It's Monday night. I guess wanted to do a little check-in. I've started Rest Stop and it's good so far. It's got really short chapters. It's hard to put down. So far, it's about a young man who is trapped in a gas station bathroom. There are creepy crawlies that keep appearing in there. So far, even in the first 50 pages, it's a book that makes me uncomfortable. It's really scary to think about being trapped in a bathroom anywhere. But it's even scarier when it's a bathroom that's like not in your own home or like your family's home. And then it's even worse if those two things are happening and also there are creepy crawlies in there. Oh my god. So it's definitely got the discomfort factor, which I really like. Zach and I watched a movie tonight. I pulled a card, Suicide Club, which I haven't seen in many years. And you know, I really liked it. And I was looking up some stuff about the movie. Zach's like, tell me something about it, right? So then I look up like just like weird facts about it on like IMDb, right? And I'm reading those to him. And there's one that says something about, in the trailer, there's this death scene with a fax machine, and they had to cut it out for like the sake of the length. And he's like, what? So I look up the trailer and we watch it, and I was like, oh, that would have been a really cool death. And then he's like, that just doesn't make sense. And I was like, well, yeah, obviously not. And he's like, how does a fax machine work? So then we're thinking about how a fax machine is set up, right? And he's like, well, I don't think it would be powerful enough to suck her in there. And he was like, it's like if a Roomba rolled over somebody to death and you were like, oh, that's good. I wish it was in the movie. He was just like so disturbed by the fact that I thought that the death was fun. Even though I did admit it's not logical. It's really not logical to fax yourself through a fax machine. But the whole movie is about these people who are dying of their own accord. And why is this happening? Is it some sort of pact? It seems to involve a lot of like teenagers. So what's going on? It's good. There is a character that I really love in there. Just very flamboyant and glamorous. And if you haven't seen it, it is rentable on Prime. So that's how I watched it this time. But I'm thinking that I'll have to track down a copy for myself. And hopefully it has the trailer on there. Hopefully it's got like special features with the trailer so that I can watch it and Zach can be upset that it doesn't make sense. Even though it's like, yeah. He was like, it's not a sci-fi movie. And I was like, yeah, not a lot of this stuff makes sense, but it's still fun. Just have fun. I have the next Broken Binding book. So this is a subscription. They've got a few different subscriptions. They've got a fantasy one, a sci-fi one. Those put out books each month separately, I think. I think they have both of those. And then there's also a subscription where you get one book that's in a series that's completed and out. And you get one of those books each month until the series is complete. So that's what I've chosen. They have I'm pretty sure they have a sci-fi one for that too. And the fantasy one, which is the one that I'm subscribed to. And I got in on it at the beginning of the series by Rebecca Roanhorse. The first book is called Black Sun. I can't remember if the series has a name or if it's just like the Black Sun series. So this is going to be the second book in the series. These come wrapped up in this honeycomb snakeskin. That kind of creeps me out. I don't know why. Maybe because it just reminds me of a really long snakeskin. And I don't even like hate snakes. They're packaged so nicely. Oh, I think the series might be Between Earth and Sky. That's what this sticker says. So there's always a bookmark. So nice. It's wrapped like a cute little gift. It's really a shame to even open it. But alas, I must. Here it is, Fevered Star. I have not read this series. Black Sun was like a book that I looked for a long time and then ended up like taking it off of my list of like used books that I'm looking for because so much time had passed and I wasn't like dying to read it anymore. I did read a book that was in Rebecca Roanhorse's, like another series she wrote that was like, I believe the character was Navajo and there were like these monsters that they were fighting. And it was really cool, but I never continued on with the series just because I'm kind of like that. So here is the front, the spine, and the back. It does have a silk bookmark. Oh yeah, that's cool. Very cool. The stamped hardcover in the beautiful end pages. Who's that guy? I need to know more about him. Oh, it says here, author of Trail of Lightning. That's what I read. That's the one that I read. Okay, let me get the other one. Let's see how they look together so far. Okay, so here's how they would look on the bookshelf. Like this. Beautiful. And then these are the spines together. Very cool. Yes, very beautiful books. Probably more like this, huh? Cool. And then this was Black Sun. So there is a third book in this series that will be put out next month. And then I'll have to read the series because I paid more than, I would for a normal book for all of these. They're very nice quality though. I've gotten other books from the Broken Binding. I got, what did I get? I bought some while they've been on sale before I was able to get into the subscription. I know I have How to Sell a Haunted House. That one's stacked up there, so I don't want to get it out. And what else? I feel like I have one other one. I don't know, but from time to time they have horror books. up separate from their like series that they put out. I know that they had a really cool copy of Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay. They've had a couple others, but like I said, they're, you know, they're more expensive than a typical book, and they ship from the UK, so you have to pay the shipping. Luckily, with the tariff stuff, these are still going through, because I was concerned about that. How that, I mean, it really, that is fucking, don't get me started on that shit, but it really hurts a lot of independent business owners. So that fucking sucks, and I'm really glad that they're able to ship these to us and are willing to ship these to us under the circumstances. I'm gonna go read Rest Stop some more before I fall asleep. So maybe I'll talk to you tomorrow. Maybe I'll wait until I'm done with Rest Stop. Hopefully it won't take me too long. Like I said, those first 50 pages really flew by. It's been a really interesting book so far. It really gets right into it, which I appreciate, especially in a novella. You can't dilly-dally, okay, with a novella. Oh my god, a different angle today? Hi, it is Halloween-a-thon. Week 2, day 3, I think. It's Wednesday. I did not film an update yesterday, and mostly that's because I didn't have anything to update you about. I did some filming that I needed to do, and that took up a lot of my free time yesterday. And then I got into like the portion of my homework for my history class, which I'm taking online, that is like the most time consuming. So I did that until probably 6 p.m. yesterday. I also, my daughter had made plans yesterday to go to the mall with her friend that I know pretty well. I would drive them to and from school last year, and sometimes she would come over and hang out at our house. She lives down the street from us, and they asked if they could go to the mall without an adult accompanying them, and that made me a little bit nervous. But we thought about it, and it's like, okay, but I'm going to be FaceTiming you, and you better fucking answer your phone or you will never be able to do this again. Which the phone answering thing is sometimes a problem. She'll be like, well, it was on silent. Like if she's at a friend's house. You need to make, if you want to do this and prove that you're trustworthy and that I can expect to be able to reach you and know that you're not like kidnapped somewhere, you need to have your phone on. Otherwise you can't have these experiences yet. It made me a little bit nervous, but we did it, and she asked me to drop her off. It was probably like 5 when we got there, and oh, so I must have been doing my homework way past then, because by the time I spent like an hour in the car total. It was horrible. I was like, well, this will be good because it's a weekday. There's not going to be as many people at the mall. Less for me to have to worry about. But then I didn't think about the fact that it's on a completely different side of town than us, and it's rush hour traffic. So it was like, fuck. It took me so long. I was just like, by the time I got my homework done, I was so fucking exhausted. I didn't even watch a movie last night. I did finish Rest Stop, however. I had read almost, well, really it was way more than half of it, because a lot of this, there's like 20 pages in the back that are things other than the story. I read the majority of it on Monday and then finished it yesterday. And I have mixed feelings about this. I feel like the beginning was very tense. It gets right into things, and it was very creepy. However, I think partly because of some of the blurbs, the one in the very front, and also some things that people told me about this, it just didn't end up living to my expectations, I suppose. I thought that this was going to be, as it says, nasty as hell. Which maybe we have different interpretations of nasty, but it was bloody at points. It was gory. There was a really great body horror scene, or someone's getting hurt kind of thing. I don't know if that's exactly body horror, right? Because I feel like body horror has some, it's not just like somebody getting hurt and you're like, oh, they got hurt, right? I think it's more than that. It's deeper than that. So it did have a scene. It had some scenes with some creepy crawlies, like I said in the very beginning, that were really tense, and scenes where there's violence that were tense. But I feel like after it all, it was just like, better than average, but not my favorite book that I've ever read. And it's one of those books that leaves me wondering, did we read the same book? I know I'm not desensitized because there are plenty of things I can't read and that gross me out and make my stomach feel sick, but this is just not one of them, I guess. I also wanted to show you 2 movies that arrived yesterday that I bought over the last couple days. One, finally, a copy of Haunt, which is a 2019 movie about teenagers who go into a haunted house attraction, and it's a little more than they bargained for. And I found this Criterion Collection copy of House or Hausu, which is a 1977 Japanese movie. I watched this for the first time last year and was just delighted by this movie. It's very strange. It has really cool effects, especially for the time. It's so creative and it's just kind of off the walls and weird. And it was so much fun. I would recommend like 1,000 times watching this. I'm really excited to have found a Criterion Collection edition of this because I really want to see what their special features are on this and like see a version of this that is kind of, you know, remastered, buffed up kind of. Okay, and now we can roll again. See what we've got going on. I'm hoping maybe that my pick will be a movie. I'm going to watch a movie no matter what because I did not do that yesterday, and then I'll probably watch one when Zach gets home. I finished the rest of my history shit. I had to write like an essay, took a quiz, I had to read a bunch of like primary sources on shit. And so it's about noon now, a little after. I didn't even take a shower until I was done with that shit. Oh, it's 1. Dang. My day has gone by so quick. But I'm really glad that I got all that done because I was stressing this morning and I was like, wow, this is just gonna be another day where all my time is spent doing other things. And I do have some other things to do still, but at least like the portion of my homework I want to have done for today is fucking done. And then my last class that I have to do for this week, another online class, it looks like there's only a quiz on the chapter that we read last week. So maybe I'll skim that chapter again tomorrow and take the quiz, and that will be it for me. So then I'll have hopefully most of Thursday and all of Friday free of schoolwork at least. That gives me a chance to catch up on some shit. I feel like my Friday is always just like what needs to be cleaned in the house that needs to be done and hasn't been done. Okay, so as you remember, I also have to edit, oh my god, the vlog. I have so much video editing to do. I just don't have enough time to like do my real responsibilities, the things that are sort of like not really responsibilities and not really chores, but things I need to get done for my hobbies such as YouTube, and then also my fun things like watching movies and reading. I just don't have enough time right now to do all that, and it's such a fucking bummer. I feel like maybe I'll have to rewatch some of my last October vlogs, but I feel like I did not feel so crammed together last year. But my last roll was a novella. I picked Rust Stop, and now I'm going to roll again. Where should I roll? Over here, I guess. Oh my god. You know what? I'm getting another die out. This is just ridiculous. I rolled a 1 again, and I'm so pissed off about it. I'm going to use this 8-sided die because it must be like slightly weighted on that side, because this was a problem I had last year too with this same set of dice. So I'm gonna roll this 8-sided die. 3! Why does this keep happening to me? Okay. Wait, that might be good. Hold on here. 1, 2, 3. That is a Halloween candy cane, and that means I get to do an activity, I think? Hell yes! Hell yeah! Second week of Halloween-a-thon. Pulling an activity card. I can't even remember what all my activities were. Okay. Read in the dark. Oh, this is so fun. Okay. Does that mean I should pick a novella? Or should I... How about I pick a random movie, but pick my novella out myself? Okay, this is a newer one that I pre-ordered. It came at the very, well, like mid-September, I guess. 10 people head out on a backpacking trip, but the first night, 11 set up camp. Everyone remembers everyone else. Who is the extra? I don't know, but I'd like to find out. So this is what I'm going to be reading in the dark. I probably won't do the whole thing in the dark because that would limit me to only reading at night, although I have been doing most of my reading at night. And now let me find my movie cards so I can pick a random movie. The house is October built. Wow, am I just gonna have like a haunted house theme going on? So this is a found footage movie that I like. I've seen it a couple times. I actually was going to buy a copy of it because I've watched it so many times. Why not buy a copy of it? I feel like I saw it streaming somewhere recently, so hopefully I'm right. It's still there. And then I can watch it. So that's what I'm going to put on right now. Spend some time with my poor dog who has to be, she has to be in a segregated area of the house while I'm doing homework because otherwise she's just very distracting to me. Okay, like those are my plans for today. I also need to hopefully edit my first week's Halloween-a-thon vlog, and then I'll get back to you guys after, probably tomorrow. And let you know how the extra is and how the house's October was, and maybe if Zach and I watch another movie, let you know how that is. So I'll see you then. Hello, it's me in the dark. I've been reading in the dark, which I actually do most nights recently. Not always, but since my reading time during the day has been cut into severely, I've been reading at night. So I was reading in my room, but I came out here to film this because I didn't want to bother my sleeping partner. So I've been reading The Extra by Neugebauer. This is a story about, so far, I've read about 40 pages. It's a story about this person. He seems like he works for a college, maybe. He does these backpacking trips annually. People pay to go on them, like civilians. And he has a couple, like, student helpers, which is why I'm thinking he might work at a college. They're camping. They start out with 10 people total. And then at one point, the, I don't know, leader realizes that there's 11 people. And he says, how could that possibly be? And there's a lot of logical things that confirm that they started out with 10, and yet he remembers every single person who is on this trip with them. So how could it be that was supposed to be 10 and now they have 11 people on this trip? So it's pretty ooky spooky. At first, only, I mean, where I am, you know that 3 of the people should be there, and that's the leader and his 2 student instructors. I don't know if we ever, like, if we'll get names of others. Yes, and that's something I was looking for actually in the beginning. Like, does he name these people? Because then it would be pretty easy to tell who the extra is. But I think the author took care to not mention really names except for those specific 3 people. So, good. I like it so far. It's a little bit creepy, especially at night, especially with the content. So I'm really enjoying that, and hopefully I don't know, I'm kind of tired. I'll probably read until I need to sleep, which probably won't be very long, and then maybe I'll be able to finish it tomorrow. I don't know. But I'll check back in with you. Hey everyone, welcome to week to day, no scratching, 4 Halloween-a-thon. Today, I am going to be rolling again because I did my task, which was to read in the dark. I did not specify that I was going to read an entire book in the dark, although I think I might do that with this because it was getting pretty creepy last night, and I think that the darkness does enhance it. Come here, Subs. We're here with Sabbath. Come here. Come here. Show your cute little fluffy face. What's that? What is that? On camera. Ugh. She has itchy skin problems because she is a doodle, and they always have skin, well, not always, but they're very prone to skin issues, and this is not a breed of dog I would have chosen for myself because of some of these reasons, but she's my dog anyway. So I've been giving her this omega-3 supplement on her food. It's like it's oh my god, it's basically fish oil, and it makes her, when her face is grown in, her face furs are grown in a little more, it makes her smell like fish oil. Ugh, I need to wipe her face off because now I just smell fish oil everywhere. It's gross. So I guess before we roll, I also wanted to show you, this is like my last pre-order for quite some time. It's called Playing Wolf by Zuzana Ryova. And oh my god, the synopsis of this sounds so cool. It's about a couple who move with their son to a remote village in Prague that they're trying to fit in with the villagers. I'm sure that would be really hard. It says they're met with hostile stares and evasive lies. Each night, the couple hears what they suspect to be a large animal wandering around their cottage, an impression that oddly corresponds to the mysterious flyers found at the local watering hole regarding a woven fairy tale. As inexplicable coincidences begin piling up, it's clear something sinister is afoot. Did you find something up there? So I'm really excited about this. It is translated from Czech by Alex Zucker. What do you see? I don't see anything. She really likes catching flies, so I don't know if there is a fly that I can't see. So now we get to hear clicky clackies all over the place. I'm gonna roll now and see what I pull up. This time we got a 5. I know you can't see that. It's a 5. So let's move 5 places from where we were. As you remember, my last activity was reading in the dark. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we get a novella, of course, because I'm in the middle of one, and why not? So here are my novellas. The Last Haunt. I read that one. Wow, my first duplicate pull. Okay. Let's shuffle her again. Beautiful Atrocities. Okay, this is by Ross Jeffrey. And I don't even have to go grab it because it's a short story collection. So there's like no synopsis. It's not like themed or anything like that as far as I know. So it's just a collection. I don't always love those. This isn't one that I bought. I think I got it in a Nightworms package. What else? I watched, Sabby and I watched, the house is October built yesterday, and I've watched it a few times now. Yeah, it's a good one. I think my first watch of it was definitely the best. It's a great October film though. It's like events leading up to Halloween where these people are doing kind of a documentary on extreme or like haunted houses, and like they're trying to find like the most scary extreme one, you know? So that's what it's about. I also was really disappointed today because I logged on to my like online portal for the online classes I'm taking, and I'm taking like a human relations class. I have to for my business degree, and it's like the setup is just so weird, like in the Canvas shell, where most classes I take, they have modules and it's broken up by week. So like week 5 you do this, and week 1 you do this, and week 12 you do this, kind of a thing. It goes week by week. But this one is not like that, and it's not even broken up. Like, some of the modules are broken up by chapter, and some of them are not, because like chapter 1 was by itself, but chapters 2 and 3 were not, and chapter 5 is. And so I've been looking on the syllabus for my homework assignments, but last week's syllabus just said critical thinking questions. And it turns out there are actually 2 chapters worth of that, but it didn't specify like chapter 3 and chapter 5. It just said critical thinking. So it's my fault, I guess, but I thought we were done with chapter 2 and 3 because we did chapter 5 last week. And so I don't know, it's my fault, but I'm kind of pissed because it just seems really disorganized, and it's way more disorganized than my other classes are in the way it's presented. So that kind of sucks. And then what I'm mad at myself about is that I was like, fuck, I should do that quick and turn that in. And then I did it all. I spent like 45 minutes doing it. And then I was like, oh, before I turn this in, I need to see if this class has a no late assignment policy, and of course it does because I did the homework. It's like, I know that clause was not there until I did that homework, and then it just magically appeared on the syllabus because of, I don't know, I should have checked it first. It's so annoying that I didn't, but I didn't, and so I did extra work for no reason. So that's my morning so far. This dog needs to take a walk or something. She's obsessed with this fly that's in the window. She wants it to come down. And she's gonna start barking at it, I'm sure. I don't know what I'm gonna get up to this afternoon. I'm gonna read some of Beautiful Atrocities. I think I am going to save the extra for nighttime. But I also need to finish editing my week 1 Halloween-a-thon stuff, which I started last night. I spent probably, I don't know, over an hour doing it and didn't finish. And I really want to start putting up my Halloween decorations. So if I do that today, I'll have to give you a little look at what those are. I don't know if you can be out while I'm decorating. You're too. She just has like no perception of how big her body is, and she jumps over people on the couch and jumps on top of people, and she wants to stand up on 2 legs and put her front legs on my shoulders because her legs are long enough and I'm short enough that she can do that. And she's just very, she's just like a Muppet, actually. She's like 2 people in a dog suit. Is that what you are? Here, Sabbies. Good you. Good girl. Look at this. What's this? What's it? Oh, sorry. I wasn't talking to you. That fly. It eludes her. It teases you. It taunts you. You need a little haircut soon, huh? You should be down a little bit. But she can be a nice girl too, huh? She can be a nice cuddly girl too. She's just been a little cooped up this morning. This was her first time out this morning. Not out of her crate, but out of her segregated area where she must remain while I'm doing schoolwork. The other day I was at PetSmart getting animal supplies. There was a little golden retriever puppy in one of the aisles, and I tried to go around, but I really needed something that was like by there. I just didn't want to, like, you know, disturb the puppy, I guess. But eventually I had to go there, and they were still in that aisle, and the puppy like came up to me, and I asked if I could pet her, and then I was using my dog voice for Sabby, the voice I speak to Sabby in, with that dog, and I didn't even think about it until later, and I was like, oh my god, that's so embarrassing. I hope that lady didn't think I was a fucking freak. I'm just like, oh, Cookie, oh, you're such a beef, like that, you know? And then I was like, oh, that's weird. Okay, so that's it for right now. If I decorate, like I said, I'll show you what I've got up. Huh? What do you think? Hello! It is Friday, and that means this is the end of my second week of Halloween-a-thon vlogging. Now, I have come to you with an update. I did finish the extra last night, zipped right through it. Apologies for the leaf blower noises outside. I thought it had a lot of potential to be creepier than it was. And it just really didn't take that extra step. There was one part that was like legitimately frightening. And then I just kind of expected more out of the rest of what happened. And it's a little bit of a bummer because, like I said, I think this had a lot of potential to be very creepy. It is very, like, tense. There's a lot of tension because, you know, the leader of this trip, he knows that there's an extra person. He just doesn't know who it is. And it could be anyone else. Anyone else. So there is that tension of like, what is he going to do? Is there anything to be done? Like, how are they going to get back home? Things like that. So that is tense. But there's just like really nothing much that happens besides like an ominous feeling. The end is very ambiguous, which I kind of appreciate, you know, that it doesn't just come right out and tell you exactly what's going on. But also because the rest of it lacked like a factor of anything besides tension, I really kind of wanted it laid out a little more clearly. So, I don't know. It's a little bit disappointing, but I did enjoy it still. Like, I liked this still. I just feel like, oh, this could have been a really scary story. There are going to be 2 shared universe sequels forthcoming through Shortwave. One coming out in 2026 called The Other, and one in 2027 called The Spare. So I'm for sure picking this next one up, and I'm kind of bummed that it's gonna be out next year. That means I have to wait probably a whole year, I would assume. So I also started I read just 2 stories in this, and listen, I came to this with hate in my heart. I actually, not really, but like I was thinking about this and I'm like, if I read like 2 stories in the beginning and it's not good, I'm just like immediately going to put it down. I'm not going to waste my time trudging through this, hoping that something's going to be good. But I will say I like the first 2 stories, so I'm repentant of my ill feelings towards this for no reason, and I will continue reading it until I start not liking it, I guess, because I'm not gonna waste my time with no booger snot short story collection that I put on this list. It's just really, it's been on my shelves for a while. I just needed to figure out if I'm keeping it or not really. So that's kind of why it's on my novella list. What else? I watched As Above, So Below yesterday. Love that movie. Every time I watch it, there are some movies where when I rewatch them, every time I like it a little bit less, kind of like Hell House LLC. The first time I watched it, I'm like, holy shit, this is the scariest movie I've ever seen. Then I watch it again and I'm like, is it so scary? And then I watch it a third time and I'm like, actually, it's a little bit boring. So sometimes that happens to me, but I feel like with As Above, So Below, every time I watch it, I think I like it a little bit more. It is a story about a woman she's very clever, she's very learned, and she wants to find Nicholas Flamel's grave where he's been buried. And there's like all these clues that she's found around the world about where that might be. It's kind of like National Treasure or the Da Vinci Code, right? But like better and spooky. And it's really not caught up in like following clues all around for the most part. But there is a little bit of that in the beginning, and I do like that. So she thinks she knows where this grave is going to be, and it turns out the clues are leading her to the catacombs under Paris. And things get very spooky under there. It's just one of those movies where you're like, oh man, this is like scary, and you know, they're like squeezing themselves into places where they shouldn't be, and that's I don't know, I hate that. And so I love it, obviously. but it gets to a point where things get like super like sinister feeling, and you're like, oh no, they've really gone and done something that they can't undo in an existential way, not just like they got lost and they'll never get out kind of a thing. I love that movie so much. That's what I did yesterday. I finished editing a video. It took me for fucking ever. And now I have to turn around and do my week 2 video. I also today really need to list some things in my panko shop, and also I really want to decorate today. So those are my 2 big goals. Also some editing. I don't think this week's vlog will be as long as last week's, but we'll see. When I get to my decorating though, I'm going to show you guys all my little spooky decorations. Hello! I'm way past due on this, but I just wanted to wrap up, I guess give a wrap up to my week, because I envisioned filming more Friday, but Sabby, my dog Sabbath, she had some tummy issues, so I spent a lot of like the evening dealing with that, and she is okay now. So luckily it wasn't, it seems like it was just something she ate and not like a virus. It's been a lot of trial and error on figuring out what we can do when she has an issue like this, because she has a very sensitive stomach and she's allergic to chicken. So what do you do if you can't feed your dog boiled chicken and rice like they, you know, recommend? And it's like every fucking dog food I find has chicken in it, and it's just a thing. It's just a thing, but she's feeling better now. But it did eat up a lot of my Friday. I did manage to get my decorations up. And so like I did what I wanted to do. I watched Haunt on Friday, so that was nice. And that was like the wrap up to my week. And so this is it for this week. This is the anticlimactic end to week 2 of Halloween-a-thon. And now we're already into week 3. So I will see you then.